Hello, this is Anurag on the topic International CFA because I had recently uploaded a video on analyzing the prospects of CIMA, that's the Chartered Institute of Management Accountant UK, and some of the curious actually wanted me to cover International CFA on the same dimensions. So the idea of this small session will be to help you understand the nitty-gritties of this course. What are the values does this institute stand for, and what are the professional opportunities, the costs, and so forth. So this is Anurag. I am here because I love, as always, to share the little that I know, and you can follow me by subscribing to this channel. We are happy to share the fact that now we are reaching around 6300 subscribers, and with your support we aim to reach 10,000 subscribers soon. The CFA is a professional standard choice for more than 31,000 investment firms worldwide. That's a huge sum. This year, the exams that were conducted yesterday, that's the 3rd of June 2017, we had almost 1,89,000 candidates registered worldwide, which was a 9% increase in registrations as compared to the previous year. Regionally, the Asia Pacific with 90,290 candidates comprises the largest pool of applicants with around 48%, followed by Americas who contribute 31% and Europe, Middle East and Africa accounting for 21%. Today, this institute has more than 1,42,000 charter holders who work in some of the most prestigious firms in the world, be it a JP Morgan, a PwC, a BNY Mellon, HSBC, State Street and so forth. What are the benefits which this institute positions itself on? Its gold standard and a global passport helps you get global recognition and become part of a prestigious network, which is basically my understanding of network, because once you are becoming part of any exclusive group of outstanding investment professionals, new avenues open when you fruitfully interact with such people. And this profession has got very strong foundations on the ethics front, more in focus because of the recent scandals that we had in the 2008 subprime crisis. Why recent? Because even the world even today continues to suffer as a fallout of the malpractices of those top-notch investment bankers. It's just profiling and trying to understand the breadth in which people across the world are there who hold the CFA degree. So we've countries like Hong Kong, India, UK, China, US, Malaysia, Singapore, Australia, Philippines, across the world. So go to this website cfasociety.org Portugal and you'll find the profile of such people. One case in point is an Indian by the name Mr. Nalin Monish, and after graduating from the Wharton School of Business, he joined Goldman Sachs AMC and then obtained the CFA charter and returned to India to form his own company called the Forefront Capital. And he says that it has been an incredible, exciting journey for him, because not only does he create a business, but he's also creating an industry into financial management. Go to LinkedIn, you'll have this huge CFA Institute as a group, a page, and host of professionals who support the CFA charter. And some testimonials, like you have Mr. Charles, who says that since he's become a CFA charter holder, amongst all stakeholders, be it people he work with or the younger associates and even clients, they've taken cognizance of his enhanced qualifications and probably take him more seriously as well. The Economist came up with this article in the issue for Feb 26, 2005, where it said that while there were tens of thousands of finance degrees across the world, ranging from the excellent ones to the worthless ones, the CFA Institute stood out as one institute which has continued to maintain its aura across the years. So while in the earlier times it used to be just an American qualification, but with globalization and limits of countries now being simply surpassed by the digital penetration, it has now become a global currency. It's your passport to a global finance career. So Miss Julia also says that the world is becoming much more global, as is evidenced by the manner in which the CFA designation is now being recognized. So who is in for CFA? Anyone who wants to work as a portfolio or wealth manager, managing money of people, who wants to work in research as an analyst, tracking specific sectors, someone who wants to be part of investment decision making process. So for example, if you are part of L&T and you want to decide whether L&T should go for a particular capital expansion, or if you are part of Reliance Treasury and so you take decisions relating to managing its short term and long term fund position, that's a profile where CFA fits in. How long does it take? It takes approximately 4 years to complete the 3 exams, L1, L2 and L3. What are the prerequisites of the charter? You must have a bachelor's degree. This is just for the exam, but you need 4 years of professional work ex for the charter, and that necessarily has to be in the field of investment decision making. So post completion of the 3 levels of CFA, it cannot happen that, let's say you were a chartered accountant and you cleared the 3 levels of CFA and you continue to work in the accounting and taxation profile of Tata Steel, working on SAP and income tax returns. You will not get the charter because your work experience is not relevant to the field of investment decision making. The 3 exams are L1, L2 and L3. The curriculum basically has 10 governing areas. Like one is the ethical standards because of the importance of this conduct in the world of investment. Then you've got quantitative methods talking about all the statistical analysis techniques, economics, micro and macro, financial reporting because it helps you understand financial statements, corporate finance, equity, fixed income which is like bonds, derivatives, alternate investments, and then portfolio management and wealth planning. If you look at the levels, level 1 essentially tries to equip you with investment tools. Level 2 talks about investment in terms of asset valuation, and L3 talks about portfolio management. So L1 will be focusing on investment tools and gives you necessary knowledge in that regard. L2 focuses about asset classes like equity, fixed income, derivatives and alternate investments, and L3 talks about portfolio management and wealth planning. And here you need to be competent in synthesis and evaluation while making the investment decision. So that's proficiency level which is tested at L3. L1 is conducted twice a year, first week of December and the first week of June. It's got 240 multiple choice questions split amongst 2 3-hour sessions. So the morning session of 3 hours will have 120 MCQs and the afternoon session again will have 3 hours of duration and 120 multiple choice questions. And questions would be like, an analyst suspects that a particular company's US GAAP financial statements may require adjustment because it uses take or pay contracts. What will be the most likely effect of the appropriate adjustments? Would be to increase the company's ROA, debt equity or interest coverage. Quite logical, completely understanding based. If you look at questions, they say that it could be simply asking you in terms of a specific question. So the same thing can be structured as a sentence completion thing, or it could be asked as a question. L2 will have a standard registration fee of $930 for the early bird. We'll come to the fees later, and the core areas will be ethics, quants, economics. It's conducted only once a year in the first week of June. It's a full day 6-hour examination, and the items are 120 questions which are like mini case studies, 20 item sets with 6 multiple choice questions. Morning has got, so for example you got a mini case and each case will have 6 multiple choice questions, again quite logical. 10 item sets in the morning session and 10 item sets in the afternoon session. The pass rate was 46%. Typically they recommend around 300 as of preparation for L2, and once you clear L2 you can appear for L3 and then you will be entitled to the CFA charter provided you have the requisite professional experience. So L3, the standard registration fee is $930, again the same as L2. late registration fee can go up to 1,380. Same here. So it's like the early bird and the late entrant. They have these various subjects. It's again conducted only once a year. So if you look at L1, it's conducted in the first week of December and the first week of June, while L2 and L3 will be conducted only in the first week of June. It's again a full day 6-hour examination, and the question will be 8 to 12 essay type questions for 180 points and 10 item sets, which we had just like L2 for 180 points. The pass rate was 54% in June 2016. Last year it was 46% here, it was 54% here. So people, I don't know why they say that L3 is the toughest, but the pass percentage in L3 is actually the highest. The exam results will typically come within 90 days, and again here they recommend 300 hours of preparation time. If you look at the pass percentage over the last 10 years of CFA candidates overall, so you have 42% as the 10-year average. We'll split it into level wise. So last year you would have a pass percentage of 43%, and the 10-year average from 2007 to 2016 is 40% for L1. For L2, this same percentage is 43%, and for L3 it's actually 51%, with last year percentage being 54%. For L2 46%, and L1, because it's conducted twice a year, so this is the June session and this is the December session, typically around 43%, 42%. But I think there is a more consistent trend if you look at it in terms of the pass percentages, whether it is in L1 or in L2, around 40ish, 45. But it's not like the CA percentage, which will range from 2% to a peak of 30%. So even the best of students, because of the tide changing, might land up not clearing CA exams. But here it's far more consistent. So I think one thing that I like about the CFA exams is the predictability, in terms of more than 50% people who aspire to clear the exams actually clear it. And what's the path? So if you talk to Mr. Vincent, he says self-study is tough but rewarding. So there will be a host of people who will tell you that no, you should take for professional coaching. I think it's completely up to you. If you look at the fees, what exactly it is, so you got a one-time enrollment fee of $450 when you register for L1. The exams have various cutoff dates, so starting from $650 to $1,380 is what you need to pay for the registration, and then you have to pay for the curriculum ebook, which is $150 if you take the ebook, and if you want the printed curriculum, then it's an extra $150 excluding the shipping. Now that becomes a bomb in terms of money. And then if you join a coaching class, it's going to cost you 35,000 in terms of the tuition fee. So there are three typical categories in which it falls: early bird, normal, and late. Early bird is where you register more than 9 months in advance. Normal, it is 6 months in advance, and late is within the last 6 months. So if you combine, and here we also need to take into cognizance cost of a calculator, and if you take a flat tuition fee of 30,000 across all three levels, so the fees, overall cost of doing the CFA can range from around 1,91,000 to 3,33,650. So it's like 75% higher than the base case. So I think it's always good to be a early bird when it comes to paying the CFA fees. What jobs does this degree prepare you for? It prepares you for roles like, in the bulk of the roles will be portfolio manager and research analyst. Then you have corporate finance analyst and risk manager, again RM. So RM will be more into a front ending sales related, client interaction will be there. Some roles will be where you are just doing the Excel analysis, the report writing part. So that's the overall gamut of things. So risk manager will be 5%. So what's this? 22%. It's portfolio manager, which we talked was the bulk, and then 15% which we talked was the research analyst. These are two different, almost different data sets talking about the same direction. As per their website, the top employers of CFA charter holders is like JPMC employs 1,780 charter holders, UBS around 1463, RBC 1451, Bank of America Merrill Lynch again 1451, Wells Fargo 1255, HSBC 1232, and Credit Suisse is 1000. So that's the bulk where CFA charter holders are employed. The same thing talking about, so you have people, companies like JPMC, Pricewaterhouse, HSBC, Bank of America, UBS, Ernst & Young, RBC, Citigroup, Morgan Stanley, and Wells Fargo, which actually take this. So CT stand total combined and CFA. So in terms of employment, when you talk about the total number of people that they have employed, it is, for example, 1560, of which charter holders are 1524. This is a different set, data set. A lot of them will therefore be TC and then individuals, totals for TC and CFA for each company. So this is the entire matrix which talks about this. Typical JDs will be where you will have companies like Seattle Children's, which I saw as the latest job opening on the CFA website, which wants CFA charter holders or candidates in the CFA program. You will have a New York City Office of the Controller wanting a CFA designation holder. And if you compare the global with the Indian thing, so typically here we have only 500, and this is a dated data because now we have 1,43,000 charter holders. This talks about an era where globally there were 92,000 people holding the charter, and in India it was only 550. That's the initial part when penetration was happening. And what was the job profile in India? You had the bulk of people again as research analysts and portfolio managers. So those were the two typical areas which employed the most number of people. And then there were chief level executives and corporate finance analysts and investment banking analysts. So in many cases people use CFA as a top-up degree. So where do CFAs work? You could work on managing the wealth of HNIs, you could work in mutual funds. Alternate investments is like precious metals, real estate investments, investment banking in M&A, IPO, risk management using complex statistical models. So there you need a combination of CFA plus FRM, compliance on the legal side, that is at a regulator, in private equity or a VC, where this is not much developed in India. You have only limited roles, very niche roles, like government of Singapore has a private equity arm in India, or the Karail fund has, Motilal Oswal from the Indian segment. Research and analysis is like equity research. So we recently at CA Job Portal have two positions for CFAs, one with a specific experience of analyzing the FMCG sector and one into the oil and gas. Then corporate finance, where internal to an organization you raise loans, forecast cash flows, calculate NPV, IRR of capital budgeting decisions, look at your weighted average cost of capital, your dividend policy. So one interesting thing which I like about this structured finance, creating complex products, and then other opportunities arise in financial advisory, treasury development finance, etc. It's core. So if you are as a CFA and working in these areas, you will certainly enjoy, because you tend to apply most of what you've learned in your thing. So a lot of people are skeptical about the role of CFAs in India, but a lot of MNCs have opened shop in India, like JPMC, Bank of America, more through the KPO route, but they do recruit CFAs. And apart from that, a lot of Indian companies with their core in finance, such as EY, Kotak, banks like ICICI, they also prefer CAs. Yeah, but probably India, people prefer the CA plus CFA combination, or an MBA plus CFA combination. So it's a good to have degree, but standalone, as compared to standalone, it is good to use this degree in combination with an MBA or a CA. Then you will be good in corporate finance also. So once you have this degree in financial analysis, it helps as an image builder and a confidence booster for stakeholders, because people will be more willing to give you work because they feel that yes, you are a thorough professional. So high net worth clients, if you can help them earn good returns on their investments, you will have a great time in the times to come. And it is to help the employer or client interpret the trends in the financial market, both short term and long term. So some clients might want short term trading strategies, Some clients might want long-term value trading strategies, value investment strategies for that matter. So then if as a CFA you can make your mark, if you can really analyze, so then CFA will be a good thing. So you can either continue to be in employment, or you can actually become an entrepreneur and help people in your individual capacity as a financial planner for them. So if your plan is to join a big four, a boutique consulting or an MNC finance team, then CFA will definitely help. But to my mind, it is always good to have a CFA with another degree. So a CFA will help you join a business valuation teams in Deloitte, but CA will help you join the audit team there. So Indian companies, because of our experience, we find that chartered accountants are absorbed more quickly than a CFA. And in short, focus on what profile you want to have and the kind of company that you want to work for. Who gets better pay will depend on the person, the company, the profile and the role. So that's how it is. But yeah, in terms of knowledge creation within your ecosystem, it's very good. About the charter, in case you have the charter, you will tend to outperform people who don't have the charter with 10 years or more of relevant experience by 24%. That you're going to earn $2 lakh probably more. So that's how it is, depending on various levels of experience. And therefore the institute advocates that you actually take the pain to show the relevant work ex and gain the charter. Now a lot of people want to compare a CFA with an MBA. So on their website they've put this, that what is the primary objective of a CFA? It's to help you make investment analysis and portfolio management. MBA is targeted as business management. So what's the commitment that the CFA program demands? 300 to 900 hours of self-study. MBA demands 2 to 4 years depending on the program. And then the cost will be typically somewhere less than $5,000. An MBA, if you take it from a top tier college, will cost somewhere around $80,000 to $1,25,000. These are talking about American programs like a Wharton or a Stanford or an INSEAD Europe. What is the core topic? It's investment analysis, management and ethics, and here it's deep knowledge. In MBA it will be broad knowledge, and I can vouch for that. The pace at which the MBA course runs, you will have basically a very broad framework around core business concepts, and you'll have some opportunities to take specialization in your electives. The degrees are, you have 1,40,000 plus CFA institutes, and this will depend on the specific MBA program. So there is no point combining the number of MBA holders, because MBA holders can range from a Sikkim Manipal University to a Harvard Business School. So it will depend on a specific institute, specific program. So you'll have a 1-year program of IIM Ahmedabad having a specific alumni, and the 2-year program having a separate alumni, and within 2 years you have PGP, and when you have the food and agribusiness management. So that's how it is. And CA and CFA are not two sides of the same coin. So CA is primarily a degree in accounting and reporting. CFA is for the finance sector. So typically if you want accounting, taxation, auditing to be your forte, certainly CA. CFA will be good for someone who wants to get into iBanking or equity research, hedge funds, private equity. However, only CFA may not necessarily give you the desired result. So in the Indian context, however, if you look at the international context, in the US, if you want to be part of the bulls and the bears on the Wall Street, CFA is the degree to go. But so I would want to re-emphasize the point that CFA alone with a graduate degree might not necessarily fetch you roles in investment banks or hedge funds or a private equity. So for these, you either need to get an MBA from an IIM ABC or FMS plus CFA. So then you can simply get into the Wall Street. So you look at a typical beta club, which is the finance club of IIM Ahmedabad. So most of the holders there, even if they do not have a commerce background, let's say they are engineers from IIT Kharagpur, they would have 2 levels of CFA cleared before they enter IIM Ahmedabad. They join the beta, which is this prestigious finance club, and they also complete L3 along with their MBA. So at the end of the curriculum, you have an IIT Kharagpur plus an IIM Ahmedabad plus CFA L3 waiting to enter the Wall Street. One of my known guys, he is a CA final rank holder, All India 6th, and has already completed CFA the 3 levels together. was working in CRISIL in the equity research space. Prior to this, he was working in Wipro Treasury, so he is most likely to get the charter. And now he's going for a 2-year MBA from IIM Bangalore. So that's how people are trying to use the CFA degree to help them gain that competitive knowledge edge, so that they can be more favorably considered for investment banks, equity research, hedge funds, and private equity, and so forth. So thank you so much for your patient hearing. If you got any questions, just leave your queries in the comment section and I shall try my best to answer them. And please do not forget to subscribe to this channel, like and share it if you found it useful. Thank you so much.